Hey YouTube, this is Ozark's brother Jerry, and hadn't done a video in a while, so we butchered our meat chickens yesterday. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I want to do a video on that. I didn't do a really good job describing all of our processes, but so what do you think? Is Trump going to hit? As an aside, you think Trump's going to hit Iran? You know, I thought he was, and then I didn't think he was, and now I kind of think they're going to have a precision bombing campaign of sorts. You know, I don't know. What do you think about these, all the Democrats running for Congress? I mean, this is just me, but there's not one there that's running, I don't think, that just wouldn't freak me out, you know, if they were to succeed. So, you know, my view of these days is shaped by my eschatology. I don't know that everybody out there is, but we just finished a study of Revelation, and you know, I think that's where we're at. You know, you got, I believe Rick Warren's out there talking about Islam, and we all worship the same God. You know, Allah is God. We just do it different ways. I don't subscribe to that. But the fact that Trump is so close to Israel gives me concern. I mean, in my opinion, I think we should support Israel, but it's my understanding he's been maybe convinced that he was elected to build the third temple. I don't know. But anyhow, I think the anti-Messiah, I'm diverging a little bit. This is just something I've been thinking about. The anti-Messiah is, you know, he's going to tolerate Islam and Christians and Islam, but at a point, and I think the point is Revelation 13:12, and he exercises all power of the beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So at some point, you know, he's not going to allow, the anti-Messiah is not going to allow worship of other entities, be it Elohim or false idol. He's going to let the worship. I mean, that's, you know, why he left his first estate. So, but back to the chickens. So I got my chicks from Valley Farms Hatchery in Layton, Alabama. And, man, I really recommend those people. This is my second batch from them. They don't even charge postage, and I paid like $1.72, I believe, for ours. They come as day-old chicks, and but I've seen they have flash sales if you get on their email list for as cheap as $1.25, no postage. You know, try getting that from one of these other metrosexual chick companies. You know, I mean, pay $4 for a chick plus $40 for shipping. But I did a poor job of describing the butchering in particular. I showed about the horizontal cut that you make. And you reach up with your hand in there, and in essence, you grab a handful of guts and start pulling out. And it takes a little bit of practice, and I'm not there, because you don't want to tear up the liver too bad. Man, I love liver. But I don't like eating commercial liver very often because, you know, of all the medicines that they put in the chickens. And that stuff just resides in the liver, as I understand it. So you pull that out, and then if you've got the whole of everything, you're going to feel some resistance. And then it's a tube, and you pull that tube next to the windpipe, I believe. And then you reach up in the top there, and there'll be the heart. Man, that heart's, in my opinion, is good eating too. So, and when we finish, I didn't touch on that. When we finish the chickens, we wrap them in just plastic, you know, both ways, both axes. And then we'll put them in a 2.5 gallon plastic bag. And then we stick them in the freezer. That's pretty much it. And as another aside, I have a pair of AKC English Mastiffs, and they have puppies that are AKC. They're registered. And I had them consigned through a company who shafted me. So they reneged at the last second, so I didn't develop this list of people, you know, wanting. English Mastiffs and taking deposits and all that. So they're AKC with papers. I'm selling them for $125. So I think you might be interested in that. My email will be below. So I'll put this together and get it out. Thanks for your time. Hey YouTube, this is Ozark's brother Jerry, and it's chicken butchering day. I usually raise 25 of these meat chickens a year, but I just did 13 this year. The neighbors and I split a order of 25, so we're gonna butcher them today. They are this is Monday. In 2 days they'll be 3 months old, 12 weeks. So they say you can butcher them at 6 or 8 weeks. And I have butchered them in probably 8 or 10. This is the longest I believe I've kept them. But it just, we've had one thing after another, you know. So happened, so we haven't had time. So today's the day. So we'll walk over here. Here's my few of my gardens. Got the cabbage over here, and then squash. And Roma tomatoes. So you need to scald the birds, and the temperature is supposed to be between 150 and 160 degrees. So I got an old GI pot. This is what I dunk them in. And you dunk them in the water to loosen their feathers. And I've always done it like 12 seconds, but I've just got this new chicken plucker, which I'll show you, and it said for a minute. But and it also said to put soap in there. I've never done that. It said it gets the animal's oils away from around the feathers, so that the hot water can get down there and loosen the feathers. But it's supposed to be between 150 and 160 degrees. So I'm not sure this is a legit way of measuring, but of course it's off to the side now, but it was reading 153, so I'll take that. Then here's my plucker. First time I've used it. If you've plucked chickens, you know, it's just a lot of work. So we're gonna try this guy out. Got it off Amazon. And the way I dispatch the chickens, I've tried different ways, but the easiest way I found is just to cut their head off. So I use, this is a slip knot, kind of like all hard to do with one hand. So I put their legs in here, okay, hang them upside down, and cut their head off, and then let them bleed out. So I will show you when we start. I'll come back when we start.
Okay.
Is it on?
Yes.
Okay, like I said, I use this as a slip knot. So put the foot in here. Excuse me. And get your knife wicked sharp if you can, which I've already done. Just grab their head. And let them bleed out. Okay, stop. Okay, so this is the one that I showed being dispatched, and we're just gonna dunk him in here. I think it said to take it in and out of the water.
And that's the instructions with the plucker. I've always just kept them for like 12 seconds. Okay, so now I want to cut off. I was reading the reviews on Amazon, and people said to cut off the legs before you put them in the plucker, so I'll do that next. I'll come back when we're at the plucker. Okay, we're at the plucker. It's energized, and this is the first time I've used this, so you're going to see it same time I do. You're supposed to drop it in. Looking good. I think it said 30 seconds in the instructions, but okay, tore a wing apart, but that's all right too. You know, sometimes when these birds get so big, when you pull them out of the pen, which by their wings, which I don't recommend, but sometimes if they're running, that's all I can get hold of, the wing will actually break and come loose because they're just too heavy. But okay. I'll be back. Okay, so the skin was torn on this guy, so I left it in the hot water too long. But you know, they're easy to process, so you just take your knife and cut in here, and it's just the skin, just thin covering. But you know, don't stick the blade in too far; you hit the organs, and just cut across here. Then reach your hand in there and just scoop out the organs, and you know, that's all there is to it. Now we'll have to do the finish plucking. You know, it's not going to be 100%, but to get it this far is pretty monumental in my book. So that's all there is to it. Catch you later.